So apparently the big, beautiful bill has just passed the Senate and it is on its way back to the House, and who knows what will happen there. The president has said he wants it by July 4th, but he realizes that probably won't happen. He realizes that hopefully because there's a lot of people at the House who are upset that a lot of things that they did put into this bill have been stripped out or have been changed, moved, whatever. So he's thinking, okay, that probably won't happen, but his deadline he would like it to be July 4th. Today's the 1st. So I was thinking about how disappointed I was in some of these Republicans and what's all happening. And part of me understands why they're being difficult the way they are. It's no excuse, really. I'm not trying to make excuses for them, but some of these people are just, they're cut from a different cloth. And I'll explain that as I go. As I'm watching these things, these frustrations take place, part of me continues to be like, Zach, it could be worse. We could have Kamala. And even though I'm very disappointed in a lot of things Trump is doing and has done, and some people in his administration have done, it would be worse under Kamala. Hopefully you would not disagree with that. He's done some things that I think are fantastic, phenomenal, absolutely great. And then he's done things that I'm just like, what in the world are you thinking? Why would you do that? Number one is the spending. We now have in this beautiful bill trillions upon trillions upon trillions of more dollars that are going to be spent. And it's going to be added to the debt. The debt ceiling will be raised by $5 trillion, but it won't stop there. It's just going to keep going. And we have no idea what it means to cut spending, what it means to we have no idea what austerity means. We're full of a bunch of morons in this country who are going to spend ourselves into oblivion. At some point, it's going to come back to haunt us. The economy will collapse. People will lose faith in the dollar. They already are. And that's going to mean horrible living conditions and economic conditions for the majority of this country, including you and I probably. So the thing I was thinking about that was kind of making this understandable how the Republicans are acting is the following. So years ago, when I was living in St. Louis, I worked for a company. Check this out. Hi, how you doing? All the other ones are down the hill over there, and she's just like, I'm going to come over and see what you're doing. See what grass you got over by you. Okay, you can stay there. So anyway, I worked for a company, and their purpose was to redesign and develop country clubs for the ultra elite, the richest of the rich here in America. And they developed country clubs and private country clubs all over the country. And my job there was to design websites and build basically proposals, fancy, glossy, neat proposals that would be given to the members of these country clubs so that they would spend, because the members are the ones who pay for these things, millions upon millions of dollars to upgrade these country clubs. And I'm telling you, some of these country clubs, they are like palaces. They are absolutely unbelievable. And so as I got into that culture a little bit, obviously I was never in that culture, but I got to see it because I got to visit people and do things, and it's just I was exposed to that. There are people who believe in this country that they are absolutely better than you. And they believe that absolutely, if the world decided to get rid of you tomorrow, that's perfectly okay because it's not them. And these are the people who absolutely make decisions in some aspects, whether you literally live or die in this world. And so I took that in, and as years went by, I began to get more involved in politics. I began to get more involved as a volunteer lobbyist in Jeff City, and I got to see behind the curtain a little bit of the sausage factory that takes place in Jeff City. And I realized that these are the people, some of them absolutely come from more humble roots. Not all, but some of them do. But a large majority of these people who get involved in the politics at the federal level, they're absolutely there because they had the money, mom and dad's money, to maybe grandma and grandpa's money to get where they are. You don't get high up in politics for the most part without having the ability to sell the party on how much money you can raise and how much money you got. And a lot of those people are in these country clubs. I saw politicians in Jeff City who acted this way that John Thune just did. Here you have a Republican Senate majority leader. He's in the majority. And he would rather lose his majority. He would rather lose his majority than do the right thing and fire the Senate parliamentarian who was appointed by a Democrat that got verbiage pulled out of this bill. Why? Because a whole bunch of you asked him to do it or told him to do it. There are politicians who work at all levels of government who will refuse to do things simply because you asked. Because there's no one of you who is going to tell them what to do. That's the mentality they have. I'm the kingmaker. I'm the one sitting in the palace. I'm the country club Republican. Don't you see me sitting up on this high hill? You're not going to come ascend my hill and tell me what to do. So this guy, John Thune, is like one of those country club Republicans who would rather you stay home from the midterms, him lose his Senate majority and be the Senate minority leader because he still has the same amount of power. He's still in control. He'd rather be there than bend the knee and do what you, the voter, the constituent, the people, asked him to do. He's supposed to be on your side, but he's like, nah, I know you want me to fire the Senate parliamentarian, and I know you want me to put that language back in the bill, but because of the mere fact that you're asking me to do it, I say no. No. That's the mentality these people have. And it's the same mentality, not always, but sometimes I saw at these country clubs. They are not mere mortals. There's a fly. They're not mere mortals like you and I. No, they are the kingmakers. And if you want them to do something, it's to beg and plead on your knees, groveling at their feet. And then maybe, perhaps, they may hear your request. And maybe not act on it, but just hear it. That's John Thune. That's John Thune. And I saw this time and time again. And this is one of the reasons why I didn't want to get involved in politics any more than I did back in the day. I was just like, it's a mess. It's an absolute horrendous mess. And all that to say, I still think it would be worse if Kamala was in charge. This big, beautiful bill is a horrible, wretched spending catastrophe put together by people who have no concept of history, have no idea where we're going as a country, and what the repercussions are going to be when it all finally comes crashing down, and it will. So, while I absolutely am disappointed in Trump, I still think he's doing some good things. If I was to contrast that with Kamala, it would be almost no good things. Because, I mean, we all know where she comes from, what cloth she's cut from. I understand what that was going to be like, and I wanted no part of that. And so while I'm very disappointed, as I usually always am when a politician I do end up going to vote for actually gets into office, you know, I have to, when in doubt, zoom out, look at the bigger picture and be like, okay, yes, I'm glad at least it's not that bad. It's not that bad, but it's gonna. I've said before in other videos, the pendulum, when it swings, it always swings back harder the opposite way when it comes to politics. Historically speaking, that's true. And it will swing back left, and it will swing back left hard. And when that happens, watch out. Do you think for a second we now have this real ID that now everyone is forced to get? And don't say that, well, just don't get it, Zach. You don't get it. Just don't go to get it. Okay, Well, what happens when the next time your driver's license expires and you're going to go to the DMV to get your new license and now it's a real ID? Because they're going to give you a real ID. You can't opt out. You're going to get it. And now they're using that to control air travel in this country. Do you think for a second, for a mere moment, that it's going to stop at air travel? No. No, they want your papers. They want you to know where you are, what you're doing, how you're going, who you're doing it with. They're absolutely going to make this into a surveillance state. They already are. It already is. What do you mean they're going to? They are. It's happened. That happened yesterday. What an absolute mess we are in. But again, it could be worse. And it would be worse under Kamala. But make no mistake that none of these people, these kingmakers, not all of them. And there's some people who are grounded, some people who have an ounce of compassion and sympathy for other people. So it's not all. I'm not trying to paint with a broad brush here. But for the most part, the majority of these people, power corrupts. And absolute power corrupts absolutely. So we'll leave it at that. What do you think? I've been interested to hear your thoughts. It can always get worse. It can always get worse. Hey, check out our merchandise over at teespring.com. You can find our merchandise down there below. Our Stupid Shit Hurt shirt. That's our best-selling shirt of all time. I'm trying to get with Sanctified Supply and figure out a way to put our Stupid Shit Hurt shirts only printable by them so that I can stop the Teespring. Because Teespring, you may order your Teespring shirt and it may be there like 2 or 3 months later. So I would like to do something with Sanctified Supply in order to get my t-shirts to the people who want them. So we'll talk about that. Also, I have another video coming up soon on putting together your first ferment when it comes to sauerkraut, how to make probiotics in your home. Stay tuned for that. I'll put it over at Patreon first for my patrons. I got a lot of great stuff over there. What's come up recently is a lot of people are asking about our chicken coop and how that was put together. How is it so secure? Because our chicken coop, I'm not kidding you, is probably the most secure chicken coop in the country. It's a large chicken coop. It's the Mac Daddy of all chicken coops. You can find the blueprints for our chicken coop over at patreon.com/AnAmericanHomestead. All of our patrons get access to that and a whole bunch more. Join now for as little as $1 a month. If you join at higher levels, I really appreciate it. But if you join our Patreon level, you get access to so many things over there just for joining for $1. And I'm getting ready to send out Clyde's garden planner for fall to my top level patrons coming up this month in July. It's getting ready to go out. In fact, I just got done printing off all the addresses, or Tim did for me actually. So I'll be getting that ready to come out here soon. Clyde's garden planner, fantastic tool for growing gardens all year round. No matter what zone you're in, it doesn't matter. I'm going to give that to all my top level patrons. And then I'll open it up, the ones I have left, to whoever wants one, as long as supplies last. But you got to join Patreon to know about it. Patreon.com/AmericanHomestead. Link is in the description below. Please join that. That's how I make money. You don't see ads in the middle of my videos. Why? Because I turn them off because I think they're annoying. However, if you support me with Patreon, it allows this YouTube channel and Homestead to continue to function and provide good content for you guys. Love you guys. See you next time in the Homestead. Bye. Have you ever gone to a health food store and seen all those small bottles of probiotics in your cooler section? Man, can they be pricey. Are you really getting all you need to improve your gut health from those expensive bottles? How viable are they? Most of those products claim to give you between 8 and 15 strains of gut-healthy healing bacteria. Think of each strain of bacteria as a different factory in your gut. Each factory is responsible for breaking down that food in its own way. The more factories you have, the more the food is broken down and the easier the food is absorbed and digested by the body. A 2018 study published by the National Library of Medicine shows that one fermented head of cabbage can produce up to 114 strains of beneficial bacteria. That's a lot more food factories than you're getting from that expensive pill bottle. And that's just cabbage. Imagine the probiotics when you add garlic, onions, pepper, and more to that ferment. PerfectPickler.com and its home fermentation kits provide you with everything you need to get started making your own gut-healthy food factories from the comfort of your own kitchen. PerfectPickler.com even provides a jam-packed recipe book with many of our kits. Visit PerfectPickler.com and start fermenting your own veggies to begin your journey to better gut health. That's PerfectPickler.com. Hey guys, did you know you can become a patron of an American Homestead? They get access to private videos, and we send them gifts from the homestead that we make here on the homestead. And we also enter our patrons into special giveaways that are only available to them. And before you go, please check out these other great videos. Go ahead, click. I'll wait.